Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Daily High on this Friday edition of the show with your hosts, Matt McGregor and the Tone Vase. Good morning, Tone. How are you, mate? I love when you wear that shirt.
Morning. I am good. The weather is pretty great here in the Northeast. I am gonna head off to my cabin in the woods,
Great.
where I'll be there for a while. And
Well
Matt,
done.
let's um, let's jump right into it. You haven't been on the show in a few days. I know the price fell a little bit overnight. Let's take a look at the chart, and I'll leave it up to you.
Fantastic. Let's do it. Happy Friday. All right. Look, I did a show earlier today on another channel, and the price was approximately, well, I'll call it 117, 300 in that zone where I got my cursor is now, higher than it is right now. And I drew these lines in and I said, look, I don't really have a directional bias while we stay in this range. But then I said, I can see us, either breaking out or breaking down, obviously, like everybody else. That's not interesting. But I said in the show, which is slightly interesting, that I think that what will happen is like it did back in early July the 13th, around that, where I'd be very cautious of this action happening where we break out or break down. Specifically, I was a bit more bearish than bullish, and we'll just within the next few candles we'll be just back inside that range again. And even as that really looked like it was going to happen, like it came up. The price, look at this, is freaky. The price came up to the line that I drew, and I haven't amended this since the show I did, almost to the spot. Now I'm not very excited. Like, this is exactly what I thought might happen. Everyone's expecting a breakdown or breakout, either way, but a breakdown and then an immediate recovery. But this is the worst thing that you could probably have: the recovery back to the breakdown zone for continuation. I really want to see. I think there's probably only 2 hours left here. I hate that we're so always like it has to happen now. Every candle matters. But essentially, we got to get back into this zone, at least inside the zone, if not above the moving averages, to have any chance here of any immediate recovery in my books. I think that on the shorter term time frame, that's quite self-evident. Now, I also mentioned in the show today, I might as well put another line in where I drew it in the show, but I did delete this one. It's around 111,000, give or take. If we were to get back inside this 200 simple moving average, inside the green wave, I don't think all is lost at this point. I think that that's actually a pretty good zone. It's not. I'm not talking about that. Don't write that price down as being like I'm talking about 111, 202, 88 cents. I just mean in the vicinity of this. I should probably draw like a box, like Tone likes to do. I think that's better. But my point is I think we can get, if we do fade from here and we come back down, back below 115 again, I would definitely see us coming into this like 111 zone and being a really good buy the dip at that point. As I go up the time frame to the daily, I'll show you a few reasons why I think that's a good spot. Obviously, it was like that previous top area. Remember, I'm talking about this zone right here, the previous top that we had. I think by the time that gets there, the 50 simple moving average, if we stay above the 50 simple moving average, again, in that zone, I'd be satisfied with that. I think the first port of call is obviously the 30 simple moving average, but if that fails, then I'd be looking move down to the 50. As long as we stay above the 50, I'd be quite satisfied with that, all things considered. And it's also on the weekly that I see that as a interesting area, because it's a throwback to the 7 simple, which is completely healthy to do, especially after a really strong candle, to come back and touch on that 7 simple moving average, back to the cluster that we were in before, and then trying to make our way up higher. That's the positive outlook on this as it stands right now. I could probably make a bearish case as well. It's not bearish, long-term bearish. It's just immediately bearish. It's the same thing I've been talking about earlier today and for weeks at this point, is the divergence. This could become a textbook divergence. If you recall, when I mentioned it on the show, one of the times we were on that line, on the line to the fucking dollar, right? To the point, to the point. And we got rejected very harshly off that. And this is still in place. It's still valid until it ain't. And when it gets when it gets crushed and we break that line, I'll be extremely happy and extremely bullish. But as it stands, we haven't. Like the Copic curve is rounding. It's rounding slightly for the first week, really. Some of these other oscillators, that looks what's this one called? It's one of your favorites. That still looks fine. There's nothing.
MACD.
MACD obviously looks great. So it's not too bad. Let's what the Socrates is EXA. We had that bullish cross, a week or two ago, and that's rounding off a bit again. I don't know. I'm not that hot on the price in the immediate short term. I'm still super bullish, and if we come back down to this 111, I think that's a really super time to take a punt on the price. I don't want to see us go below 100. God, let's not entertain that idea. We've got upside. We've got another 3 months, 6 months of the rest of this Q3 and Q4 to enjoy the fruits of our years of labor. I don't want to talk about bearish cases. Coming back to you now, my friend. Before I do, fantastic sign-up bonuses, of course, on Blowfin. Screenshot this, check it out. Blowfin is our favorite non-KYC exchange. And with BitGet, I think that they're fantastic as well. We always have, as I come off my screen share now, we've got a great community, guys. And if you go into the Discord group, you can join up through the links in the description below. We're actually running a bit of a competition there right now. Go in there and see it. You're eligible to participate in it that we're running, and there's good cash bonus if you get through and you win that competition. So, Tone, what do you reckon, mate? We fucked? We done?
Man, when over the last few shows, let me go to my screen share here. Over the last few shows, I have been pretty bullish, and I've actually lowered my probability of going below 116 over the last few days because I really like the consolidation at the top that was happening.
Liked it. Past tense.
Yes, past tense. So at the moment, like when I look at the monthly chart, it's still very bullish. When I look at the weekly chart, it's still very bullish. The daily chart, however, has broken down after breaking out from the symmetric triangle, but the breakout, unfortunately, took it into a double top scenario. And to me, double tops are meant to be broken to the upside. So now, the way I am looking at the situation is it was a head fake to the upside, and for the moment, I am actually still being a little optimistic that this is a bit of a head fake to the downside. Unfortunately, it's Friday and not like Tuesday. So I still believe that we can rally from here into the weekend a little bit and then just consolidate on the weekend. Another possibility is that we crash from here on out, crash through the weekend, and hit that 111 low and then bounce from there. It's just that I am not ready to give up on the weekly trend and the monthly trend because the daily trend is a little bit weak, and I'm not even going to say that it's totally weak. I'm not let's just say for some reason I was more concerned with this big crash off the top than I am on today's move to the downside. I don't have a good logical explanation for this. Like this big crash for 7,500 got me way more concerned because it was happening with the MRI top. And it was happening, after a massive run up, and I was pissed that it happened one day too early and I couldn't time it. But for some reason, this one here feels a little more controlled, or it feels like the market is more in control of the pullback, which is a very, very good sign. Now, the shorter time frame you go, the worse it starts to look. And as you said, Matt, this was my red very concerning zone, and below the zone we're kind of fucked. And then the green zone is support, and the red zone is get the hell out. So I was going to add to my position and make it a fully bullish position, as I stated yesterday, the moment we break above 119.5, which we never did. So now I need to decide, do I want to exit my position and be and have it lower? Because right now I'm approximately 75 to 80% long. And I am considering exiting and going 50%. But I gotta say, for some reason, because a bunch of time went by, 2 weeks almost, since my panicky views on the market back in mid-July, so it's been 10 days, and I'm a little more confident in Bitcoin now than I was 10 days ago, even though the price of Bitcoin is lower. It's hard to make sense of it, but it's kind of like I'm still expecting us to break out into October. And the more time passes in consolidation, the more confident I get. It's not that I get less confident, I get more confident. So I was way more concerned over here, let's say, on July 18 at a price of 117 than I am here at the price of 115. Because now I do think that my worst case scenario is we rebound from 111, because I'm not ready to give up on the weekly and monthly trends. And Matt, you're more of a 4-hour guy. I'm not really crazy on the 4-hour candles. I prefer the 1-hour candles. And the 1-hour candles do look very weak, but we're coming up on a 10 a.m. reversal. Let's see what the 5-minute looks like.
I mean, even just looking at that 1 hour there, or better for me, the 4 hour, I think that as long as we put in a higher low here, it's a buy. Do you know what I mean? As long as we stay above that one.
Right. Well, we already put in a higher low. All we now
Right.
have to do is make it past 11 a.m.
Yeah.
without going back down.
Yeah, and get above 116,500 again, and we might be good. Yeah, which is what I originally said in today's show. Exactly what I thought.
So here's market open. Here's the market open candle. There's a reason why I never trade market open candles in any market. This is the stock market open. But look at Bitcoin, right? The market opens. Bitcoin goes immediately down, makes a new low, goes up, makes a new high, then goes down and makes a new low by 940, and now it's going up again. So,
good luck.
And no matter what happens going into 10 a.m., we're not going to be at a high and we're not going to be at a low. So there is no 10 a.m. reversal trade in Bitcoin. Now, let's see the stock market. Maybe there is a 10 a.m. reversal trade in the stock market. So here's the stock market. There's the weekly chart. It looks incredible. Here's the daily chart. It also looks incredible. We do have to keep an eye on the MRI situation. Let's see when it loads. We got, till Tuesday, so we're nearing a top here, which is a little concerning for Bitcoin, because the Bitcoin the stock market has made new all-time highs for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the last 7 days. The stock market made a new all-time high, swing high, and many times on the close as well. And Bitcoin has not done that. Bitcoin hasn't had a high since probably July 15 or 14 or something. So Bitcoin is significantly lagging, and that makes me more bullish in Bitcoin, right? Not bearish. I know sometimes Bitcoin leads the stock market, and some people can see the downside in Bitcoin saying, hey, this means the stock market is going to reverse. I don't. I still see the stock market as the main driver. So I'm more bullish in Bitcoin because of what the stock market's doing. Versus if the stock market was, pulling back into 6,100. And if I go to the 5-minute stock market chart, Alpha Numerics, first I have to refresh it. And then I'm going to take it out of view because it makes it harder for me to scale. So the stock market, however, is potentially giving us a 10 a.m. reversal to the downside. And unfortunately, I was hoping this was the other way. So this is not that great for Bitcoin because this is the kind of stock market action on a 5-minute scale that I'm interested in shorting right about now. So my short trade on the stock market in the futures market, if this is 955 candle. So I would basically set up. Where's my thing here? I would set up an entry to a short trade on next candle the moment it starts trading below current candle. So we have to wait 2.5 more minutes, and unfortunately, it's running away from me. So I'd probably just try to short now, and because I don't want to take a chance. And now my stop loss would be up here. That would be my stop loss. And I would already be short into a 10 a.m. reversal trade. And my goal is to get the stop loss to break even. My initial risk on the trade was, let's say, $3. I want to say 2.5, but let's say $3. So at a $3 gain, I am setting a break-even stop loss. I did jump into the trade a bit because I didn't want this candle to close at new swing lows, and that takes away my 10 a.m. trade completely. So had I been actually in front of the market with a click button, I hopefully would have gotten short a little bit earlier, but this is okay. Not the most perfect trade I could have timed, but it's okay. And I'll wait. I got another minute. Okay, I'll go on to other markets, but you guys kind of get the point now on this trade. Bitcoin is rallying here, but again, it's acting counter to the stock market. I still think the moment we go above 117, I think we're good.
Yeah.
So I'm actually looking at the short trade in the stock market, and I'm like more hesitant on that trade because Bitcoin is rallying now. Let me look at the rest of the markets here. Not. If there's anything interesting, I'll let you know. So silver, remember that was the short trade in silver. And this is looking great. And if silver is closing, because that was my initial risk right there. My target is actually all the way to the moving average. So if silver is closing very, very low, I may even just close that trade and take my profit. And otherwise, I would just start to look for a break-even stop loss on that trade. Oil is not interesting. And this is it. And you know what? Because of how Bitcoin is doing, I'm more than happy to take this loss. 3 points on the S&P is a little higher than I like. I like keeping it to less than 2, but I have a risk of 3. So we let the trade go and we wait. And if it goes like 3 candles and it's still in consolidation, I may just get out with a slight profit and not wait for my $3 to happen. Other than that, I don't have much to say. We'll have a lot more clarity early next week.
Yeah, we will.
I like that the ETFs were still buying yesterday. I think if we close today around 118, the ETFs are going to be okay. And overall, the ETFs are just racking up Bitcoin for the month. I would love to see July be more than May, creating a bit of a, what do you call it? I forgot the word. I guess restricted supply of Bitcoin going into August.
Supply shock.
Right, supply shock. All right, so where are we eyeing? We're going to eye the 5-minute Bitcoin chart, or we're going to eye the 5-minute S&P chart?
I want to see if we're back in the, just on my chart for 1 second.
All right, yeah, take over screen share. I'll keep an eye on the S&P.
I just want to see where we are in relation to my chart on the 4-hour. I had a really funny situation. I don't know if I should tell this story or not, but I
Probably not.
invested.
Well, if
Well,
you feel that way on air, probably not.
I won't talk numbers, but I bought into funded, right? So like my new exchange here, that my new prop trading firm, and we launched next week in beta, but it's coming in the next, by the end of the month probably. It's fantastic. So I bought into that, and I bought in when the price of Bitcoin was around 108 is when I sent over my Bitcoin to for the buy-in, right? And the boys called me yesterday and said, "Oh, by the way, we didn't actually convert your Bitcoin to US dollars or to Tether or anything. We've still got it in Bitcoin. So you're up like a lot. Like, I won't say how much. It's like an annual year salary for a plumber, right?" And I'm, holy shit, we'll fucking send it back. Send back the extra, because I only had to do a certain amount. So I had a bit of a win, a good trade yesterday. So that worked out all right. Um,
Nice. That's
yeah,
good.
yeah. It doesn't normally. I thought I had burnt that money. You know, in a sense, I thought I was down, but they sent it back, so that was great. Um, in Bitcoin. So look, we haven't got back into this zone yet, but I would love us to get back inside that range that I had on the 4 hour. That's what I'm really, really hoping for, because I just, as I said, I don't want us to see it come up and touch exactly the breakdown point and then fade further. Then
Right.
I'd be
Oh,
looking
well,
for
now,
111.
now, now, throw it on the hour, right? Because you're looking at 4 hour candles, but this candle started 30 seconds ago, right? So an
Okay.
hourly is a better look right now.
It's like that's the where it touched. This is the fade I'm worried
Right.
about. But this is a buy if you stay above. Like, you'll have that. They're not here. Where's my? I thought on another time frame I had my MRI support and resistance down here. Yeah, but anyway, you get the point. Like, above 115 is a stop loss. If you can buy in at 115 500, there's only a $500 gap. Could be a good leverage buy, but you got to. It's catching a. You're going against the trend, the immediate short term trend. Don't know.
All
Don't
right.
know.
Let me jump in
Take
right
it back.
now. So you can see that the S&P trade is about to hit my target. This is not my exit target. This is more important than my exit target. That is the target that allows me to set a break-even stop loss. And this trade can no longer lose me money. And now I begin to pray that we drop one more time so that this trade is actually profitable. And in order for me to do that, I just needed to fall another, dollar or two, another point or two. And I do want to wait for this candle in full. So this is where I pray that this effort that I made to perfectly enter a trade does not lead to only a $50 gain, right? Like, I want this to be a $300-400 gain, so that my trading day is done, and it only takes 20-30 minutes. This was one of my trading strategies before I started YouTubing. This was my S&P futures market day trading strategy, where I would time the 10 a.m. reversal, trade for maximum 1 to 2 hours, sometimes 30 minutes, and I'm done. And that's my day. And my goal was to make between 500 and $1,000. Now, this didn't work every day. On some days I didn't trade, and on some days I didn't make money. But by the end of the week, I was almost always in the green, and by the end of the month, I was always in the green. You just got to be consistent and disciplined with your rules and not break the rules. And right now, this is unfortunate, but I'm about to be exited out of this trade with a minor profit, enough to buy dinner, and that's about it. So this is what I'm watching, and then we're gonna get going. I actually don't have much time. I gotta get going. I'm just
Yeah, I gotta
waiting
get.
for
I
this.
gotta get going. Yeah.
Oh well, if this hits the blue line, we're done, and we got a quarter to go. Boom, that's the blue line. So I'm out of this trade. Oh mother! Did you see that, Matt?
I didn't, mate. What was it? What'd you get? You got oh, that's bad
Look at this.
karma.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. The moment it broke that line, it
Yeah.
immediately, like the next tick was like down here.
Yeah, that happens more often than you want it to. It's for some reason.
Son of a. Anyway, you guys
I
get the
gotta
point. I mean,
I gotta go. I
yeah,
gotta go.
it depends on your tolerance. I mean, I really want to see the S&P 500 fly to the upside and take Bitcoin with it. All right,
Yeah.
guys, thank you all so much for watching. I am still bullish here, and see you all on Monday.
Yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for joining. Have a wonderful weekend. Go Bitcoin. Let's get back in that range and break above it. No one wants to see it go any lower, except for Peter Schiff, maybe. But other than that, we don't want to see it. Thanks for joining. Like, subscribe, share with your friends. See ya Monday.
All right, wait. All right, cool.